This is not a painting. It's the back of a real person named Feed. He weighs over 400 pounds and lives alone in a very old house. Getting up every day is a struggle, and he has to sit down to wash dishes. Walking from the living room to the bedroom makes him tired and he needs to rest. He eats alone and watches TV alone. The only work he can do is to make and sell string bracelets to earn a meager income. Every day is the same. Extremely boring and lonely. The happiest thing for Feed is when his sister and brother-in-law come to visit him on weekends. Because he has too much flesh on his body, he can't wash himself, so his sister always complains that he smells bad. He often bumps into tables while walking, and his sister scolds him for being clumsy. But his brother-in-law likes him very much and often shows Feed the pictures of their trips on his camera. Feed looks at the photos with envy and a smile, happy like a 200-pound child. At night, he can only use an old camera he found under the bed to look at the film photos. For Feed, who never goes out, it's difficult to go to a photo studio to develop the film. He thought for a long time and finally decided to change his clothes and go to the photo studio with a crutch. The journey was more difficult than the long march, and he was sweating profusely and panting after walking only a short distance. A soccer ball rolled to his feet, and a child asked him to pass the ball, but he couldn't lift his leg. It was not until he had exhausted 2 years of physical activity that he finally reached a photo studio. Exhausted, he took out the film roll and the shop assistant told him that although the antique film could be developed, it would take 2 hours. The assistant asked Feed to come back at 6 p.m. to pick up his photos. It had taken Feed the whole morning to get there, and the journey back and forth was exhausting for him. The assistant understood and asked Feed to sit on a bench at the back and wait. However, when Feed saw the distance to the bench, he decided to stand and wait instead. After 2 hours, the photos were ready, and Feed was very happy when he saw them. Then he asked about the price of the camera on the brochure and was told that it was 30,000 yuan. Feed said he only had 700 yuan, so he could only buy an old second-hand camera. He happily went home, which took half of his remaining energy, and charged the camera for 12 hours. When it finally turned on, he smiled like a child and took pictures of himself, even his feet, which he hadn't seen for a long time. However, the second-hand charger broke the next day, and when he called the camera shop, the staff thought he wanted to return the camera and hung up on him. Feed decided to open the charger himself, but then the shop assistant called back and offered to fix it for him. Although the assistant didn't really know how to fix it and drank 10 cups of coffee while trying, he miraculously managed to repair it. Overjoyed, the assistant hugged Feed for the first time, and it was a strange and wonderful feeling for Feed.